Have you ever promised yourself to establish new healthy habits, like waking up every morning at 6 a.m., going to the gym 3 times a week, reading about coding every day for 1 hour, and so on and so on? I mean, I have. You know what else I've done? I've dropped those promises after a couple of weeks because they were just not sustainable. But then I read this book called Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits, Developer Habits. Can you see the similarity? As you may have already guessed, in today's video, I'm going to talk about atomic habits. I'm going to share the main key takeaways that helped me to become a better person and a better developer. What is up, guys, and welcome to Atomic Habits, a YouTube channel. Developer Habits, a YouTube channel for software engineers interested in growth mindset, developer lifestyle, and technical tutorials. If these are topics that you are interested in, then please do hit the subscribe button below. So, Atomic Habits, written by James Clear. The main message of the book is that by doing really small things for a long period of time consistently will yield in great results. It sounds really easy to do, but hard to put into practice. The reason why I want to talk about atomic habits is because the knowledge I got from there helped me to establish a healthy routine of waking up early, going to the gym on a regular basis, spend more time on my side projects, but also with my friends and family. So without any further ado, let's get to the first point. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. If there is one thing I have to take away from Atomic Habits, it's that by improving yourself 1% per day is better than nothing. If you do the maths, then you will see that if you improve yourself 1% per day for 1 year, then by the end of the year, you will be 37 times better. For some reason, people expect habits and the result it yields to be a linear progress. And when they don't see the results immediately, a disappointment follows and they quit. In reality, it's more like an exponential growth where you have to do a long-term investment in order to see the results. James Clear, the author of the book, calls this period when we expect to see the results but we don't and we should just push forward a valley of disappointment. As developers, I'm sure that you have experienced the click moments when you just code and don't understand anything when it finally clicks to you and suddenly you can grasp the concept. The reason for that? Well, I believe because you just kept going and pushed through the unknown. So remember, doing 1% at the time is better than nothing, and don't give up when you don't see the results immediately. The structure of habits. What are habits and how do they work? According to Atomic Habits, each habit can be divided into 4 parts: cue, craving, response, and rewards. First, there are cues. Cues are the triggers for the brain that trigger some kind of behavior and expect a reward. By making cues visible, we can make establishing habits so much easier, or by hiding them, it makes it easier to get rid of the bad habits. Just imagine when you get a new notification in your mobile phone. That's the cue that something good is about to happen. And naturally, we get to the second part, craving. Craving is the motivational force behind every habit. In theory, every cue can trigger a craving, but in reality, there has to be a thought, experience, or emotion connected to the cue. In our mobile phone example, you know from your previous experiences that a notification in your mobile phone usually means some kind of new like for your tweet or Facebook post. And that's why a craving emerges. After craving, response will follow. Response is the action that you actually have to take in order to get to the rewards. Whether it occurs or not depends on how motivated you are, but also how hard the action is. By making the actions easier, we also make establishing a habit easier. In our mobile phone example, picking up the phone and checking the notification is the response. And finally, we get to the rewards. I guess there's not much to say here. Reward is the satisfaction we get from the habit. It's that small amount of dopamine you get when someone likes your tweet. The thing about rewards is that the more immediate it is, the better. Now you have to remember that all those parts of a habit are connected. As it is said in the book, the cue triggers a craving, which motivates a response, which provides a reward, which satisfies the craving and ultimately becomes associated with the cue. Instead of chasing goals, change the system. A goal is like a finish line. Once you get there, a temporary feeling of satisfaction will occur, but soon you will have to start thinking about the next race. What Atomic Habits says is that instead of chasing goals, you should try to change the system. This way, achieving goals is a byproduct. How I see it is that instead of constantly pushing myself towards new goals, I should instead build a system of long-term, small, sustainable habits that in the long run will bring me the results that I want. That's also one of the reasons why the book is called Atomic Habits. Just like atoms are tiny building blocks of molecules, habits are tiny building blocks of remarkable results. The question is, how to use that knowledge in practice. Define who you want to be. Usually, when we want to achieve something, we define the success by the outcomes. For example, I want a six-pack, I want to earn 100K per year, or I want to have 1 million YouTube subscribers. This is the moment where you go and subscribe. Remember, small habits. Atomic Habits suggests that instead of thinking about the what, you should think about the who. Who do you want to become? A healthy person, a valuable developer, a YouTuber. It's a really simple yet powerful concept that makes it easier to take action and resist temptation. For example, think about a developer who earns 100K per year. That person probably is hardworking, nice towards others, mentors others, tries to educate him or herself all the time, and so on. These are the qualities behind the who. When such a person sees a bug in production, he or she doesn't hesitate because it's just something that valuable developers do. It's something that hardworking developers do. Another great example from the book is about smoking. When someone tries to quit smoking and is offered a cigarette, the usual response is something like, "No thank you, I'm trying to quit smoking." But if you change the mindset and think that you are not a smoker, then the response becomes, "No thank you, I don't smoke." So remember, define who you want to be. Engineer your environment. In order to create good habits and lose the bad ones, engineering your environment is vital. It's your ultimate tool to make some actions easy and others hard. And there are various methods to achieve that. The first one is designing your environment so that the cues for a desired habits are always visible. For example, I have a book that I'm currently reading next to my bed, so I know that before I go to bed, I have to read the book. That way, I will never forget it. The second way to engineer your environment is to surround yourself with people to whom your desired behavior or habit is normal. A good example here are coding bootcamps. Most of the topics taught there can easily be found from YouTube or Udemy, but the like-minded people who have the habit of learning and coding is what makes it motivating and special. Another great way to use your environment for your advantage is by priming it for future use. That way, doing the right thing next time becomes easier. For developers, setting up linters for your new project is a good example of priming your environment. So think about it. How can you change your environment? The 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do so. This one is simple yet powerful. Every action, every activity can be broken into a 2-minute action. Using that rule, there are no excuses. I personally use the 2-minute rule to start exercising and reading regularly. Regarding exercising, I started by just getting dressed and going to the gym. Once I was in the mood, I couldn't just go back home. The same applies to other activities like cooking, reading, jogging, coding. Just take the initial 2-minute part and push yourself through it. Once you put in the reps, it will become a habit. Not the full action, but the initial 2 minutes. As developers, I'm sure you have experienced moments when you don't feel like coding, but once you get going, you won't stop. That's what the 2-minute rule is all about. Track your habits and never miss twice. Period. Life happens and missing a single rep is okay, but once you miss it twice, it's a conscious decision. What helps with being accountable is tracking your habits. You can use a pen and paper or downloads of application, but each time when you practice a habit, mark it down. Eventually, it won't be just about the habits, but also the wish to not break the chain that will keep you going. And even if the chain breaks, make sure to get back on track as soon as possible. As James says, missing once is an accident. Missing twice is a start of a new habit. As you can see guys, Atomic Habits contains tons of great information and tips on how to improve your life through small habits. To be honest, there's so much great information in the book that you should just go and buy it and read it yourself. If there's one thing that you should take away from this video, it's that starting small is all that matters. Start small, be consistent, and you will get great results in the future. And this is it guys, I thank you for watching and I genuinely hope you learned something new. If you are interested in growth mindset, developer lifestyle or technical tutorials, then please hit the subscribe button below. Also, if there are habits you think developers should establish, then please write them in the comment section below. And that's it, bye!